you go?
Go ahead.
Where do you want to go? We just want to open up and say today was been a very emotional day. Last couple of days have been very, very emotional. Jerry, as you know, was a very, very important part, not just to this organization and to the league and to all his many fans, but to both Trent and I personally. Unbelievable mentor, friend, advisor, and he loved the draft. It was like Christmas, and he loved knowing every single player. He loved meeting the players. Took great pride in where guys would go, and after the draft selection were made, he was just so happy. And so it's a bittersweet day. We're extremely happy with how our draft turned out, but also very sad that Jerry wasn't here for it. We had a seat for him. We had some of his favorites on there, and we just want to honor and respect Jerry every single day about the way we go about our business. Questions?
A lot after that. What did you see in your pick, and why did you guys go in that direction?
Take.
Yeah, I think you see a wing with a ton of upside on top of already a pretty developed skill set. His ability to shoot the ball from three, off the dribble, catch and shoot, stationary, and on the move is already pretty high level. He went through some travails in the first half when he first got to campus. I think kind of limited the start of his year to a slow start. You see the second half of the season at his age, making the impact he did in Big Ten, one of the best college basketball leagues in the country. You can see what the potential will be while already betting on what his skill set is now.
You mentioned his age as the youngest guy you've drafted since 2005. Was going in that direction a conscious effort, or was it just the way the board fell when he was there?
Yeah, it's the way the board fell, and kind of do that. And we also wanted to get the average age of our young guys down to like 25. So, but one of our goals was to get younger, but also at the same time, we were really, really fortunate that Cam was there, and that with the board, it's littered by you take age into account, but we also go best player. And when you're projecting out to Trent's point, what you're looking at is what does he look like 2, 3, 4 years from now? With shooting being his best skill, and a lot to do with it, which is an extremely important thing. He's got good size for the position, but he's going to have to get stronger, and we'll have a really detailed development plan. He's an unbelievable young man. Obviously comes from a very athletic family, and it's not just his brother. Both his mom and dad played college basketball. His mom was at Northwestern. His dad was at Wisconsin, Stevens Point, somewhere in Wisconsin. So anyway, but it's great that he is young and he's got a big upside.
When you talk about his positional size and everything, like besides him getting stronger, what are some of the things that you kind of want to see him grow towards when we get to those 2 years, like as far as ball handling, as far as defense? Like, what are some specific areas of improvement for him?
Well, I think number one is you got to start with what he does well, and I think the shooting piece. He shot 39% from three. Now you want to say, okay, can we get that into an elite level on the NBA line? Can we get him north of the 40s? Because then all of a sudden you become a whole lot quicker, just the way teams close out to you. Now he is, to Trent's point, he's a terrific pull-up jump shooter. As he gets stronger, he'll become a better finisher. I think strength and core strength is going to have a lot to do with his development. And then the defensive end, that's going to be critical. Lower body strength, core strength to really be able to sit down in a stance, guard the ball, be able to close out from disadvantaged situations. He's very competitive. He's high character. He's high IQ. He's a fluid athlete. He's got a good feel. He moves around the court like a basketball player. He's not like this explosive, bursty, twitchy athlete. But he knows how to find the ball. He kind of has a scorer's mentality. We also like the fact that growing up with an older brother, like with Max, is if any of you guys been the youngest in your family, you know what that's like. And he has a little bit of an edge to him. And growing up, I'm sure everyone talked about Max. And I know he got great love. I think Max is probably his best friend in the world, but he wants to carve out his own identity. And I think, the DNA is critical to anyone we add to the roster.
Just to follow up real quick, Trent, like when did you meet him? Like when did you guys know that like that's someone that you wanted to really keep an eye on and possibly draft today?
Well, Jason and John living in the area of the Big Ten and having a son in the league, was on him pretty early. And then Jason and the rest of our group were really on it, and they actually had me get on a red eye during the NIT to go see his first round game there. So that was my first like in-depth experience with him, but our guys had been watching him for the bulk of his freshman year. As you see the skill set compared to the rest of the group, yes, you're betting a little bit on the upside, but there were little things within that game for me, switching on to one of Butler's better players for a bit, some big plays down the stretch, winning and keeping them tight in a close game. Like those kind of things stood out for someone at his age, but the work started long before that. That was just when I got real close with him, to say the least.
How exciting is it for you guys to have? How exciting is it for you guys to have the Oceanside set up right now for the G League team, just to have kind of that new revamped energy, new facility and whatnot for a situation like this?
It's going to be awesome. And, to have a brand new facility and just how the setup is too, because the players literally will live, less than 100 yards away in a brand new, condo complex. And it'll be one-stop shopping. We'll be able to practice there probably 80% of the time as well. I think so far it's been an awesome partnership. We're really, really excited. The fact, I think the San Diego Clippers, I think on the first day there was just, in terms of the reception from the fans was amazing. So I think it's great. The development, the G League and, how we've been really, really fortunate with our Ontario, where we're super supportive of what, of all the support they gave us, and now in San Diego it's going to be awesome. And Paul Hewitt and his staff do an unbelievable job with the development of the players.
How many players did you guys end up bringing in for draft programs throughout this process? Cam, did you bring him at all?
I think the official number ended up being 74, give or take. Rich has given me that's about right. And so 74, no, he did not work out for us here. Not surprising. We got lucky that he kind of made his way our direction compared to what a lot of people thought. But yeah, 74 was our number this year, give or take. Don't hold me to that exact one.
So at what point did it seem like a reality that did it just get to 4 to 6 and be like, oh, he's here for us? Like, when did it become a reality or start to become a reality that you guys would get him?
Well, you're doing a lot of things to try to figure out where you need to go in terms of trying to trade up. And, we're fortunate, Cam has great representation with Kevin Bradbury, has had great experiences with his, players here. So you're just praying that somehow he can get down here and or how high we'd have to go. And so we're very, very fortunate, feel very, very lucky. The one thing, with Cam, and this is where, Trent and Jason being able to do a great job, is in Chicago we're able to interview. And usually the strategy we take is the guys we know we have very little to no chance to be able to work them out here in LA, just because, they're projected to go much higher than where we're at. Trent and Jason do a great job of trying to figure out, okay, who's that group of guys, and that's who we request for an interview. Versus the people who we know will get here, we'll see those guys in LA. So we were super lucky that we were able to sit down with Cam, during the visit they give you at the combine.
I want to ask about, you guys are a couple of days from some big decisions, with some options. Where do things stand with you guys and Paul? I know extension talks were always still open as well. Where do you things stand with you guys?
Yeah, I think, we've had ongoing conversations with Paul and Aaron Mintz, his agent. We love Paul. We very much want to retain Paul, but we also very much understand and respect the fact this is a business, and players have a finite amount of time to be able to not just make the most amount of money, but to be able to, pursue whatever they want. We hope Paul's decision is to be here. He's been awesome. He's been an all-star 3 of the 5 years. He's one of the best two-way players in the league. He's a terrific person. He got great family, so we hope he's here, but also respect the fact that if he chooses to opt out, that's his choice. He's earned it, and we'll see how things play out.
Just when it comes to James, like you guys are trying to negotiate at the same time, having a player who could opt out, having a player like James who y'all couldn't talk to until just last week. How are you balancing that? How are the conversations going with James specifically?
Yeah, I mean, good. Again, very, very productive with both James and Mike Silverman and Troy. And so you just kind of deal with. We think James has been terrific for us. When we obtained him, 5 games into the season, thought he had a terrific season. We hope he's had a great experience while he's been here, and we hope he decides to continue to be here. He's been great in terms of just even the offseason, coming in, working out, coming in 2-a-days, getting extra work in. We very much want, James to remain a Clipper and hope he decides to do the same.
Now, Kawhi seems primed to go for Team USA. How has his rehabilitation been from the inflammation? Kind of where is he at right now as he gets into that?
Yeah, I mean, look, Kawhi very much intends to play, and all his training has been towards that. This is from the time that he was selected to the Olympic team. He was extremely happy and prideful. This is an opportunity he's wanted for a long time. So, he's rehabbing and coming back, but his whole focus coming back from the injury is to get healthy, and his intent is to play for the Olympics. That's very much what he wants. And so, every day his rehab, what he's doing, whether it's in the performance room or whether it's on the court, it's focused to get back healthy, and is very, very hopeful that it coincides with the Olympics.
So he is back on the court and doing on-court work and everything like that?
Yeah, so he's kind of ramping it up, and his biggest concern, like all of our concerns, is long-term health. So he's not going to do anything that jeopardizes his long-term health. He wants to not only be ready for the Olympics, he wants to be ready to have a great season this upcoming year, and wants to have a long career. So, but yeah, his focus and mindset is just each day he's made significant progress, and he continues to go in that direction. And we're very, very hopeful he'll be great in the Olympics, and excited for having another an All-NBA player have another great year this upcoming season.
Last week, Paul made some comments on the podcast about whether we're sort of championship going forward with the right style of play, the right style of basketball. Curious, you just had career efficiency numbers. Like, how do you guys kind of take those comments that he made about prioritizing the right style of basketball, not necessarily championship?
Yeah, look, I mean, we got great respect for Paul. Paul, I think we're far from a perfect team, perfect organization, and so I think, Paul's sharing what's important to him. That's terrific, and yet at the same time, yeah, he did have an extremely efficient year, the best, most efficient year of his career. He's all-time Clipper leader, I think, in 3-pointers. We had, a terrific stretch where he was at his best too, when we went 31 and 8 in that 39-game stretch. But yeah, at the same time, I think you listen to all your players, and that's how you learn and grow. That there's all areas that we can all get better at. And so, we totally, support our guys in terms of express how you feel, and let's be solution oriented and figure out how we can get better.
Lawrence, you mentioned how punitive the apron can be, the second apron, and how you guys have to be mindful of that. And when signing Kawhi to the 3-year extension, is 3 years kind of like a timeline that you guys want for your stars, and why would that be 3 years?
Yeah, I mean, just out of respect, I understand the question. I won't get into the specifics of it, but look, this is a business, and the reality of the new CBA impacts teams like us. When your better players are in their 30s and you're trying to build a sustainable roster, it impacts it. Like if there was no CBA with Steve Ballmer, look, it would be carte blanche. I mean, all you guys would be getting, whatever you wanted. But, but this is the reality that as we talked about before with the new CBA, it's not even about the money as it is, how are you going to build a sustainable roster, maintain your tools to have transactional flexibility, and with that comes really, really hard decisions. And we totally respect the fact that, look, deals get made when they make sense for both sides. We're hopeful that we can find a deal with any player we negotiate with that we want both sides to feel good about, and respect the fact that for each of our players, they're going to have choices. They've earned it, and they have to make the decisions that make the most sense for them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate you waiting.
It's a lot easier in the afternoon.
Tell me, what